All right, let's get into good and evil and the Lord inside of all people as the tribulation and great tribulation is breaking open upon the earth. And these are time frames when you are getting that so-called 2020 vision and you're putting on the glasses in different ways, or you're taking off the glasses and the sun's getting hot and bright in one way and it's getting dark and another because you're going into the day 2 and the dark sun is coming out in different ways. So let's tie some deep thoughts here together for you so we can understand the coming times a little bit better, so we can walk through the gates in a straight way and not get pushed left or right in different manners. And there is a Greek and a Jew, a spirit and a flesh, and there is multiple layers upon these things. And the internet, it kind of connects the spirit of man, and AI, it gathers the consciousness of man, and the Christ is the consciousness of man. So in a way, this is the return of Christ, and that incarnation of Christ is where the AI is connected to the cars. So there's different layers happening here as far as passing through the gates and the overlays of the begotten sons upon the earth and the Lord within all, and knowing and understanding the structure of earth and that we live in a mound in a way, and there's a king and queen of a mound, and you live in this there's a different energy that goes off in the head when you know that you live in a terrarium versus a cartoon space monkey ball shooting off in ever expanding space with when the sky clock is above you and it turns in a circle every year. It rotates around you, and it's been doing that for thousands of years, and it's the same stars, same constellations, all that types of stuff. And then you got the retrograde motion in the planets where they go forward and backward and such, and they do this over and over again. So that also tells you that it's not an ever expanding whatever thing they tell you, because it's been like that since whenever. Okay, so just little side notes, people, because you got to understand kind of where you're at and because there's no space out there where the so-called aliens are coming from. They're all within here. It's all the higher light beings or whatever. Okay, I assume that there is a species of beings, the light with, basically, man is the lowest form of alien and the highest form of monkey. All right, and we meet in the middle, and that's where you are the son of man and the son of God, and you were all born as the son of man, as the beast, as all these things. Okay, and we need to understand the structure of right and wrong as far as the society. So let's get out of space and land back on Earth. So as all these things are coming upon the Earth and the lights are going dark and the candlesticks are changing over, this is where the Lord within all y'all kind of die in Sodom. And that dying in Sodom, the dead rising first, that's playing out as far as the artificial dyes that's in the foods that RFK is bringing up. That's kind of the dead rising first on that spectrum. And then the people, you are what you eat, so you're eating this artificial dye. You have the artificial intelligence on the earth and whatever else, so that's artificial. And the artificial, because the spirit works through artists, and we can read and look at art, and the art is whether drawing and painting, or art is also writing and poetry and all these other things. So This is that Spirit of God that's operating in all men, and we can see these things as all things are built on these times and passing through this wormhole. Okay, so that's where it depends on what state of consciousness you were in at certain parts of times, or where you were brought up in, and what you know about the so-called scripture on the world stage, and what you've seeked out about this, and the heresy for the mothership, and all these other things. So there's different things in my life, and I've talked about these things, such as seeing the so-called mothership that took up a third amount of the sky and it went behind the mountains, all kinds of other stuff. Okay, who knows how big that sucker was, but got the witnesses, got the wife to account for these things back in the day whenever it happened, and I've seen various other things, but various things have happened. I've laid out different areas of my life according to UFOs and whatever else, right? So I'm kind of trying to put all the things that I've experienced in a way, and looking at what we're being shown as far as the projection and whatever, and bringing it all together, and then helping y'all understand the day and time that it is, as the naughty and nice, the good and evil has been given life, and since it's been given life, and it's also been given fruit within y'all, and this is where those star seeds and such, basically within all people, okay, but not that many. When you're kind of in a bright area, you don't see that many stars, and y'all are kind of in that bright area, in a matter of speaking. And then sometimes when you're up so high, you can't see any stars. So that's another kind of thing where y'all are experiencing, as far as like the 80% on the world stage, as the 80-20 rule plays out. So the good and evil, it's gonna, you are the Lord, you're the one who creating the good and evil, but the good and evil is being shown out here. So this is where you need to rise above those things, and you need to maybe operate in the power of love, and love may operate in a way that you are unfamiliar with, as far as what you're taught out here. So you may need to think about that balance. If y'all are believing this and this over here, when it tells you, when so-called Jesus is saying the direct opposite, okay, heaven is in you, you don't die and go to heaven, all right? So it's just one easy one. But if y'all are believing these simple things, okay, and then you are going to believe the other. So that's where the good and evil might be, the love or whatever might be programmed in a wrong way, in some way, shape, or form. So as the tribulation and great tribulation happen, and the rations come, and those types of things will be breaking out, and then the farmers, they don't have their fertilizers and all these things, and your food source goes scarce, and you have a change in structure where you need to get food grown local and all these things. Okay, we've seen these kind of things break out in our world here in pockets and whatever, and they're kind of showing you this, that, and the other as these things break out on the Israel and going from one time to another, because we've seen kind of a waste a lot in this spectrum, but it can be utilized in this spectrum and whatever else, and we can set up crops and land and stuff that will feed nutrients and whatever else for 30, 40 years or whatever, where we don't have to do anything but just plant and grow just like we do now. It'd be less work. It's just more work in the forefront, but either way, so many things need to change, and these changes are coming upon the earth, and this is a new America, and this is the birth of the new America, and we see old America in the 10s and 20s and those things, and we've seen this new technological America and new money and all these things, a new gold, a technological gold. It's not even there, and basically these mines, they're basically not even there. If you see how much gold they pull from these mines or whatever, it's just a effing pony show. All right, it's all for a stage. I mean, it's not even worth destroying this much earth to extract that much gold for. I mean, it's ridiculous. All right, but they're doing it, and it's just like ant. You're going into the ants, just like it's like a giant fucking ant mound. That's the giant in the earth that it tells you about. That's in the earth in those days and after. So we're going from one to another. Go from one golden brick road into Kansas per se. That black and white. You don't have to. There's other ways out of Oz, okay? But in that little projection, you go the black and white, the old whatever, that dust. But you go back there, to Kansas, but then you go to the tornado, you land in Oz, follow the brick road, meet the man behind the curtain, come out of there, and then you click your Ruby Hills, and then you go. So either way. I'm having a brain fart. You got the good witch, the bad witch. That's good and evil there. You got to pick some witch to listen to. Those kinds of things. And then the pitcher of water melts the bad witch. And then that's the man with the pitcher of water that you got to follow. And the good witch is bad in another way. So there's like two kinds of goods and two kinds of bads being shown on here. But so that's kind of where we're in now, the left and the right. Then you got to kind of go back into the 80s where that true liberal was, or whatever kind of thing. And then they took perversion of the liberal and made the woke and all this other shit. So they had to keep everybody asleep and make the liberal some rainbow bright, because that's, you have the division of the spectrum or whatever, and then like this old time, this or under the firmament and above the firmament, and then you have the rainbow that connects it, kind of thing. When you're looking at the rainbow, that's how this would be kind of doing. But either way, we got to stop here because of time.